Welcome back to the Side Street Grill for this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. Of course, the men basketball in action tonight at Norfolk State. That game coming up on the ESN. If you're listening on the radio, there'll be a 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock tip-off. Chuck Moroz will join us right after the Eagle Sports Coaches Show tonight, and he'll have all the action as Donnie Tyndall's bunch will take on Norfolk State. Walt Ripka, the rifle coach, has joined us for our first segment. Walt, always a pleasure to have you.
Good to be here.
How's things going thus far? I know you had a little break between the semesters, and you picked things right back up.
We did. We did a good job. We had 4 days of practice, and we came right in, and we had a good match. We had 3 personal highs, and since we had some range repair done over the break, we actually came in on Monday, and we had to put the range all back together because it had all been totally taken apart for the range repairs. So it was a good week for us.
Of course, your last match against Rose Holman had a pretty good match on that, didn't you?
We did. We did indeed.
Tell us a little bit about how your young men and women did.
Well, 3 of my shooters actually shot new personal highs for themselves. Mary Sanger shot a personal high in small bore. Jamel Wilson shot a personal high in air, and Christian Hasagen shot a personal high in small bore. I was very pleased.
I know that next up for your bunch is the Ohio Valley Conference Tournament coming up in a couple of weeks, right?
Well, actually, we have a match this Sunday.
Oh, okay.
With UK, and that's going to be an interesting match too. I mean, UK is ranked number 1 or number 2 in the country. It's going to be a challenge. I just hope we don't embarrass ourselves and that we have a good showing.
I know that, over the years you have faced a lot of good people, and I think that's what you put a UK on the schedule for, is to challenge your young men and women to do the best and see how far they have come.
That's right. I think it's a good warm-up match for the OVCs, which are the following week. And it'll be a challenging match, too, because it's shot on paper rather than on electronic targets. So it's a different venue. It's a little bit different.
I know over the last few years that Morehead State has enabled you to go to the electronic targets, right?
That's correct.
And how much more of a difference is that than just the paper?
It's quite a big difference because you're shooting at just one single point. It never moves, and you don't have to move to adjust across the pages. So it makes a difference.
A little more expensive too, right?
Oh, a lot more expensive, yeah.
So it was a great thing that Brian Hutchison and the staff allowed you to be able to revamp your targets to go electronic.
We appreciate it very much, and it was one of those things that if you're going to stay competitive in the league, you need to move up with the league.
I know a few years ago that you went from single teams on the men and women's side to a combo of a co-ed team. Has that worked pretty well for you?
It was actually, it's been kind of interesting because before we had a hard time getting girls recruited, and now I've got 6 girls and 6 guys. And I could have 2 teams, but with the mixed team, it allows us to pick the 5 best shooters rather than having to worry about putting up a men's team and a women's team.
Shooting is such a kind of like so much of an individual sport, but yet it all counts in the team. I mean, and that's where the young men and young women have to have great concentration because it's tiring to be down in the stances they have to get and to shoot for a period of time.
It is. It wears you out mentally. It's a very mentally involved sport, and by the time you're done shooting, you're pretty well wrung out.
Do you think the Ohio Valley Conference is one of the toughest leagues in the country? I mean, you have great shooting teams like Murray. I think even Jacksonville State has a pretty good team. I mean, in our conference, there's some excellent shooting teams.
We have 4 teams in our conference, Morehead, Murray, Martin, and Jacksonville, and all 4 of us are pretty tough teams.
So go over with us, if you don't mind, because the last time you were on, somebody asked me afterwards, what is a practice like if you're a member of the MSU rifle team? Tell us a little bit how long, how many times do they have to shoot, or what's your formula for a successful practice?
Well, ideally, they'd come in and they'd shoot at least a small bore match and an air match twice in a week. So a total of 4 matches That's roughly 240, 250 shots, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it does. It is. It's a lot.
So how long would that take, a normal practice?
A normal practice is about 2 hours for a small bore match and 2 hours for an air match.
So they could put up to 4 hours every time they come into practice.
They could.
So, and, you work so well with these young men and women, but as we talked about, they have to have it within themselves because it's a lot of dedication because there are no 20,000 people coming in to watch a rifle match. They're not, and so it's really a very self-disciplined sport.
Absolutely. We do get a few spectators coming in because with the electronic targets, all the shots can be seen by visitors. We have a television set up, and you can actually watch as the shots.
So that's a little different than when you had just regular targets.
When we had paper, you could watch with binoculars or something, but you couldn't actually see.
A lot of rifle coaches asked me to go and hold them. Oh, that was before. I'm sorry.
Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. So, but it's a great sport. And I think a lot of people enjoy it. And like we've said, you've had some great success. You've had a lot of young men and women pass through during your time as a head rifle coach that have put some great numbers up.
We have indeed, and it's a sport that you can do for your entire life. It doesn't tend to break you. You don't get hurt. And you just continue to do it.
We talked about the Ohio Valley Conference and the great teams. What have you seen this year when you went out, or what have you heard this year about the teams going into next week's OVC tournament?
I think Jacksonville State is going to be the one to beat. It's definitely shooting very well. They're averaging over 4,600, and they're shooting them some really fantastic scores.
I know people don't realize that Murray State has won a national championship in rifle, so they have a great tradition, and they put a lot into their program, and Morehead State, as you said, trying to put a lot into it. Where do you find most of your players? How do you get to start recruiting your players?
Most of our players come from either shooting clubs, private shooting clubs, or there's a few high school leagues that are out there. They're still out there. And you contact coaches, they contact you, and it's recruiting just like for any other sport.
And that has to be hard. But as you said, there are some high schools that are shooting, and there's some high schools that's starting, to have the shooting as a sport. And that would have to be good if we could get, people – I guess think of shooting in eastern Kentucky as outside hunting, which this is totally different genre.
Totally different. There is almost no connection.
But tell us a little bit about your team this year. Tell us a little bit about your seniors as we head into the OVC tournament.
Well, we have 3 seniors this year, Katie Bush, Nicole Heitmeyer, and Justin Egan. And mostly they're concentrating on graduating this year. Their shooting is okay. But their big deal is to get out of school.
And that's what it's all about.
It's all about.
Your younger players, tell us a little bit about them. Who, if you had to pick, or just tell us about who do we need to look out for in the future?
Oh, well, there's no question about that. We have Ethan Cole as a freshman, Jamel Wilson is a freshman, and Christian Hasagen is a freshman. The 3 of those are moving up fast. They'll be part of next year's team for sure. They're part of this year's team.
So you go to University of Kentucky when?
This Sunday.
This Sunday for a match, and then the OVC Tournament Championship February 4th and 5th, and that's at Martin, Tennessee this year, right?
That's correct.
So, Walt, we always like you for coming and joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck with the OVC tournament. Well, good luck. Beat UK this weekend, and then you can go on to the OVC tournament and beat everyone down there. But we appreciate you, and we wish you luck again.
Hey.
Welcome back to the Side Street Grill on this edition of the Eagle Sports Coaches Show. Our second guest tonight, of course, we'd like to remind you that Eagle pregame action coming up at 6:45 this evening here on the Eagle Sports Network and radio station WIVY. Chuck Baraz will have all the pregame as Donnie Tyndall and his Eagles battle Norfolk State at 7 o'clock. And as we said, 6:45 will be the pregame here on the ESN. Bill Mayo has joined us now, trying to get him out of the shell for the next 10 minutes. Coach, congratulations. the tradition continues at Morehead State University. You have to be proud of your co-ed squad.
Oh yeah, I mean these kids work so hard all year long, and we put in just major amounts of hours during the Christmas break, and it's good to see that hard work still pays off.
I know the all-girl squad came in third. The stunt came in third too.
Right.
And you take a look at all the teams. That's still not bad. I know the young ladies were disappointed, but still not that bad. Let me see if I can fix you here.
Yeah, let's do everyone.
There you go.
Malfunctions. It's my face. It's very
there you go.
uneven. There we go. I'm sorry. What was the question?
You're still proud of the all-girl and the partner stunt.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in the all-girl routine, some of the skills that they demonstrated were, I mean, you won't see them anywhere else in the country. I mean, there's teams that just physically cannot do the stuff that they did, and they're the best, and I'm very lucky to coach them.
I know that with the co-ed, you now have 21 national championships, 32 as a school.
Exactly.
Most of anyone in the country.
In the world, in the universe. Yeah, I know. I'm going to hold it here.
Yeah, just
maybe that'll be better. Yeah, we have more national championships, collegiate national championships than any team in the entire universe, which is pretty good.
Now tell us how you prepare for that. I know, we talked about it before. It doesn't start like a month before competition. You're in here in the summer.
Oh yeah, we're in here twice in the summer. We start first day of school. We hit it hard. I mean, basics is the most important part of any sport. So we go over basics for a large majority of our early fall season.
I'm going to try to get this here.
I don't even know. Is that better?
Yeah.
There we go.
So we'll turn that up that way.
Oh.
There you go.
All right. There we go. Is it working now? There you
go.
So we practice, do basics for the first part of our fall semester, and then the nationals ideas, the things that I'm planning on doing in the routine, we start to hit hard about end of October. And that's where all the really hard stuff you see. That's when it starts to get practiced. During December, we do 2-a-day practices, and those are 2 to 3 hours each. So things get, I always live by repetition breeds consistency. And if we do it perfect enough, then we'll be perfect on the mat.
I know that as soon as I talked to you when you got back, first thing you said was, all right, we're getting ready for next year. I mean, you celebrate a little while you're still in Florida, but as soon as you touch back down in Kentucky, you're geared for thinking of next year's routine.
Yeah, I mean, to be a part of this program, it's a 12-month-a-year team. I mean, there is no downtime, and we only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to win. Other sports have lots of possessions to win the game. We get one shot. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. There's no overtime, no sudden death. That's all we got. So, I gave them about 2 weeks off, and then we're starting for next year again.
Now, what happens in the spring? I mean, I know that you have a lot of young ladies who are seniors that may leave, so I guess you have to have a tryout period to select the squad for next year.
Yes. Our tryouts are May 4th, 5th, and 6th here in the AAC LST Johnson Arena. Again, that's May 4th, 5th, and 6th. So I do a lot of recruiting. I travel a lot in the spring semester, try and find some of the best talent. A lot of that talent comes, emails me about the program. But, to win this often and hold this dynasty, it takes an influx of very talented kids.
So if people are interested, if they're out there for a high school senior that's coming to Morehead and would like to find out if they could try out in your tryouts in May,
yes,
how would they do that?
Well, they would just email me at w.mayo@moreheadstate.edu, and I'll give them all information. There's a Facebook page. Just type in Morehead State tryouts, and you can find the Facebook page, and our website will shortly have it up. So, there's lots of ways to find out information.
Now, how do they get to try out? I mean, is it a ladder? I mean, are they freshmen that could make the co-ed, or do they have to all-girl first, then the co-ed?
Oh, no. I mean, the co-ed and the all-girl team are two completely separate entities. People come here just for the all-girl team. People come here just for the co-ed team. They're two very, very separate but equal talented teams. So some of the best all-girl cheerleaders in the country are going to come to Moorhead. Some of the best co-ed are going to come to co-ed. It's all different.
With 32 national championships, when you reach Florida, is it a nice feeling? Because I know that there are a lot of other schools that look at Moorhead State and wonder how that you can put together 32 national championships.
Well, it's never good to have a target on your back, but I mean, we manage it pretty well. I mean, everyone is trying to find out where we're practicing, trying to find out what we're doing. There's all if you want to call them spies, you can call them spies, but everyone wants to see us down there and start the buzz on what's going on. So I wouldn't call it stressful. I wouldn't call it an anxious atmosphere. It is what it is, and we have a way of coping with it.
Is that what drew you to Moorhead State, the fact that you saw the success it had and you knew what level that you could take it to the next level?
Well, I definitely think the challenge is what attracted me. I heard the fall in Moorhead was very nice. That is also one of the things that very much attracted me. But no, definitely keeping the dynasty up, keeping the winning tradition up. I mean, there's nowhere in the world you can find tradition like here at Moorhead State. So, and I always pushed myself in my cheerleading career, and I definitely didn't want, to coach a place that would be lazy. I knew this place would work hard. And
that's one thing that if you're ever in the Johnson Arena, if you go by the Myron Dorn workout room or the complex there, now they do work hard.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, we're very blessed to have had the old pool right next door, so that room got extremely hot, which was good. But, yeah, I mean, perfect practice or practice does not make perfect. You have to practice perfectly to be perfect. And so I definitely do not allow any type of mental errors even in practice.
I know that in high school in Kentucky, especially around the 15th and 16th region, cheerleading is huge. I mean, when I was growing up, Greenup County always had a great cheerleading squad winning national titles in the high school level.
Oh, yeah, Candy Berry over at Greenup County has just facilitated just a superpower of cheerleading. I mean, in the 50 states that is America, there's only one that you can be categorized the hub of cheerleading, and that's the state of Kentucky. So, I mean, there's a lot of talent in this state.
And I know that a lot of talent keeps on working. What's the plans from now to tryouts?
With the current teams, on the 31st and 1st, we resume practice. And we're going to start on some of my ideas for next year. Start working towards, we have a stunt clinic on March 17th, so we're going to prepare for that. We have tryouts in beginning of May. And we're going to get ready for next year. There's no time to waste.
Okay, once again, if they're thinking about coming to Moorhead State either as a first-time freshman or if they wanted to transfer to Moorhead State to cheer, tell us a little bit how they can go on the website, msueagles.com, pull down the cheerleading information, fill that out, or they can get a hold of you, right?
Absolutely, at w.mayo@moorheadstate.edu, and I can send you all the information or put you in touch with someone that can help you with some of your questions, and just go from there.
So, 21 co-ed national championships.
Exactly.
8 all-girls national championships.
Exactly.
And 3 partner national championships.
Exactly. Yep.
Pretty good trophy case.
This is the best place in the whole world to be, is right here.
Bill, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on another national championship, and we'll talk to you later on.
I look forward to it.
Bill Mayo, cheerleading coach here at Moorhead State University. We'll come back. We'll talk women's basketball with Tom Hodges on this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show.
Mr. Charisma. That was an exciting portion of the show, Jason.
You ready? All right. Welcome back to this edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Bill Mayo's just concluded. We had Walt Ripka on earlier.
I can follow those two up. I'll be real honest with you. This is what I thought. If this was hee-haw, this would be the gloom,
and doom,
despair,
and
agony on me portion of the show.
Following
Walt and Mayo. I mean, good gracious.
Now, if Shaber could get that backdrop to come up and hit you, see, that would be almost perfect.
We had a hound dog. We need a hound dog.
I won't touch that remark. I'll get in trouble if I touch that one. But Tom Hodges has joined us now. And still haven't heard from the Statler brothers. Just want to update people on that.
Statler's, the invitation has been extended to Roanoke,
Yep.
Virginia, and Stanton, Virginia. We've extended an
We should have
invitation.
just rode over on the bus with Donnie and that bunch going to Norfolk State. We might have been able to be dropped off there.
The way our night went last night, let me tell you something, Jason. I wish I could have been on a bus to Stanton, Virginia.
UT Martin comes to Johnson Arena on Monday night and defeats Morehead State. And you were afraid, not afraid, but you were concerned about UT Martin's two guards, Butler and forgot her name.
Newsom.
Newsom.
Heck, you had to say it enough last night.
Yeah.
How could you forget her name?
And one had a good first half, one had a good second half. And, it's just one of those nights, shots didn't fall.
No, it was really tough going back and watched the film 3 times since last night, once last night, twice this morning. Thought we didn't play bad, honestly, and it sounds so contrite and simplistic to say we just didn't hit shots, but at the end of the day, we just didn't hit shots. Defensively in the first half, being subjective about it, I felt like we did as good a job on UT Martin as anybody that I've watched on tape, just being totally subjective about it. There was a real big pivot point in the game. It was tied 17-17 in the first half. We stopped them on 3 consecutive possessions, which is always a big stat for us, is 3 consecutive stops, forced 2 turnovers and one defensive rebound. And then we had 2 contested layups that we missed and 1 uncontested 3 that we missed. And then we go from being tied 17-17 and missing those 3 shots to being down 26-17, them going on a 9-0 run. And from there, we just never could get our footing back.
And then, of course, as you said, Newsom and Butler, 2 of the best guards, if not the 2 best guards in the Ohio Valley Conference. And they kind of play off one another as they did last night because Linda Dixon was doing just a great job on Butler.
Yeah.
3 points in the first half, late in the first half. And it was one of those situations where Newsom took up the slack for her team.
Well, that's what makes them so dynamic. Linda, as much as Linda struggled offensively last night, defensively, she did a yeoman's job of keeping the leading scorer in the conference, Heather Butler, at bay. She had 3 points at the half, ended with, I think, 14 or 15, but she shot 6 of 26 or 6 of 27 from the field. So did a just tremendous job. The one that continues to hurt us from their team is Jasmine Newsom. Just her ability to drive the basketball was really the difference in the game, and her ability to score the ball at the rim.
I know you got to play a lot of different people in that second half, but as we talked about, Amisha Jones scoring her first double-figure game, getting 11 points last night, and through this time that you've had a smaller bench, she's come in and played as well as she has all year.
Absolutely. Amisha's showing the type of player that she's going to be for us, hopefully sooner than later. What I told her after the game, it needs to be the norm. This doesn't need to be the exception. We'll get Therese Robinson back into active duty in preparation for Tennessee Tech, which will be good. I thought Ashley Henry came in and gave us good minutes last night. Shanice Parker came in and gave us good minutes. Those are 2 that I look to maybe step up in this second portion of the OVC season.
Jones also can play some good defense for you, and I think she's improved on that. I mean, as a true freshman coming in, it's kind of hard to make that transition defensively, but at times last night she was playing pretty good defense on the UT Martin guards.
As good as, and this is what I told her as well, as good as anybody could expect to do. When you're playing the reigning OVC tournament MVP and reigning OVC Defensive Player of the Year, I thought she did as good as anybody could do, no matter what class. And then you think this time last year, she's at Hughes High School in Cincinnati just hoping to make a B in a class. So it's certainly rewarding for me to see her progression as a basketball player.
When we come back, we'll talk about the upcoming games for Morehead State.
We're not going to talk about the I was really intrigued by the espionage from Coach Mayo, the spies in Orlando. I feel like that might be well more talking about than our team.
Well, we'll come back. We'll talk about some spying news and what's the latest.
Or maybe the rifle. I'm telling you, Walt is a character now. I don't know how we ran him out of here. It's a big follow-up job for me today. I just don't know if I'm capable.
We'll come back. We'll have our final segment with Tom Hodges after this on the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Welcome back for the final edition of the Eagles Sports Coaches Show. Tom Hodges has stayed with us. He has looked the internet over between breaks trying to find the spot. Comb. Is that bad with you? Say combed?
That's the only time comb is used in my vocabulary.
But your young ladies have fought hard, and I really think, and you'll be joking to admit this, the fact that what are we now, 7-12, and the fact that we haven't.
Are we
had,
7-12? I didn't know that, Jason. Thank you for sticking the dagger into my side.
But the effort has been there throughout. I mean, with the 7 young ones you brought in, with the mix of veterans, things that have happened this year, a lot of teams could have just packed it in and said, okay. But these young ladies have fought hard, and they're right in the middle of an OVC hunt.
No doubt about it. We put them through the grinder in the non-conference season. That was really tough on them, and I was really concerned about how we would respond in the conference season. But they've continued to fight extremely hard. We're playing as hard now as we played all season. Getting into scouting reports a lot better right now than we have in the lead up, and that's just youth learning how to get into a scouting report and to carry that over to a game. So I'm just really proud to be their basketball coach. I'm proud of the way they represent Morehead State, and I'm proud that they absolutely, one thing that can be said about our bunch, we're not going to hit every shot. We're not going to get every box out. That's certainly the case, but there's not going to be an ounce of energy that we leave on the floor, and if we just keep that mentality, there'll brighter days ahead for this bunch. I just know it. I know your infatuation with the rifle. Matthew Mitchell might have had the best line ever. We were having lunch with the Eagles over at Reno's, and the fact that he had to follow Walt during his speech. I don't know how he ever recovered. And Walt, and he said, that rifle and women's basketball are a lot recruiting-wise, because you're always looking for good shooters. So that is right. Be here all week, folks. Don't forget to tip your waitress. That's right. Tip your sports staff. Absolutely. And all kidding aside, Coach Ragba does just an unbelievable job. And then our world-class cheerleading program, although I don't know calling out everybody in the universe, that's pretty brash. The Tokyo Tumblers have an unbelievable program over there, but those two coaches do an amazing job representing Morehead State, and certainly just another reason why this is, in my opinion, the best job in the Ohio Valley Conference and the best institution to work at. You have a week to prepare. Tennessee Tech rolls into town next Monday. Johnson Arena, 6 o'clock. Airtime will be at 5:45 on the ESN. Does it get easier with the younger players, the fact that now you are starting to play the teams for the second time? Well, we'll see. It certainly makes it easier when you can turn on film and you can see yourself and how they guarded you specifically the last time you played. So I think it'll be easier for them, be more engaged, certainly after the contest we dropped down in Cookeville as we prepare for this second run through the conference. Has anyone in the conference surprised you to this point? Not really. I think probably the biggest surprise right now has been Edwardsville. But we knew after last year. We split with them last year. What a great team they had. They've done well. Murray State seems to be playing better and better. They've kind of gotten on a roll here lately. But overall, I think it's shaken out about the way that I thought it would. That's how I thought it would shake out. I thought Eastern Illinois was going to be by far the most talented team. I thought UT Martin was going to be the hardest team to play against. Tennessee Tech was an unknown with their how they would respond to adding more talent to their already championship roster. So everything's shaken out about like it is. We're right there in the middle of the pack, middle of the race, ready to make our push in preparation for the tournament.
Need a big crowd to come out next Monday. 6 o'clock will be tip-off. Tennessee Tech coming to town, a big Ohio Valley Conference game for the women's basketball program. That's going to do it for this edition. Appreciate your time.
Are we already done?
We're done.
We flew by today.
Yes.
We were on light speed today.
Sure.
Andrew, was there anybody raucous today? They heeded your warning. I'll always like Andrew's warnings that no student needs to be disrespectful. We need to respect the coaching show. I think it should be a little rowdy, Jason. I think we should,
So anybody can just thump him if they want to.
I think it should be no holds barred, the most raucous coaching show in America. I think that needs to be our new brand.
It's turning that way each week, it seems like.
Oh, you think we're
getting more and more. Stay tuned on the Eagle Sports Network. We'll have Donnie Tyndall and the men battling Norfolk State. Chuck Mraz will be with you in just a couple of moments with the pregame show. That's going to do it here from the Side Street Grill. We appreciate everyone. Walt Ripka, Bill Mayo, and Tom Hodges. Until next week, this is Jason Blanton for everyone involved. So long, everybody.